Hi, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about stories. So first, I want you to please choose two of these comic strips and write down the dialogues. What do you think happened? We're going to discuss in class. Okay? Great. So, what are life's highlights? Please think about this so we can share in class. And now, I need you to please think about famous people who are no longer with us. What did they do? And how have they influenced modern singers, actors, or others? Please think about two so we can share in class. Okay, great. So, now let's think about this. What things do you think you need to do in your life in order to be remembered? Let's think about three or four things so we can all share in class. Now, today we're going to be talking about Freddie Mercury. Let's read the sentences and let's think about when these things are happening. For example, Freddie Mercury is remembered because he was getting treatment for AIDS while performing. He is remembered because people have listened to his music for many years. He's remembered because he was a great singer. And he's remembered because people have been performing his music at different events. If you notice, some of these actions are talking about the past, and some of them may be talking about the present. Let's take a look at this. We need to match the sentences here with the uses. One is talking about an event that happened in the past and finished, and the other is talking about an event in the past for a period of time and finished. Pause the video while you match. Okay, great. So, the first sentence, Freddie Mercury is remembered because he was getting treatment for AIDS while performing, is talking about an event that happened in the past for a period of time and then finished. The second sentence, Freddie Mercury is remembered because he was a great singer, is talking about an event that happened in the past and finished. Now, the difference is that the second sentence is permanent, right? Now, we're going to identify the tenses we're using. Simple past, past continuous, or present perfect. Pause the video while you match. Okay, let's go ahead and check. Now, the first sentence that's talking about an event that happened in the past for a period of time and then finished is, of course, past continuous. If you remember, we form past continuous by using verb to be in past, was, or were, and then a verb with ing. In this case, getting. Now, the second sentence is using simple past. In this case, I'm using the simple past of verb to be, was. However, we could use any other verb. Okay, now we're going to match the uses for the second pair of sentences. First, we have a finished or unfinished action connected to the present. What is important is the action, not when it happened. Or an unfinished action connected to the present, and it may make emphasis on the duration of the action. Pause the video, please. Okay, so let's go ahead and check. Freddie Mercury is remembered because people have listened to his music for many years. We're talking about a finished or unfinished action connecting to the present, but what is important is the action, not exactly for how long this has happened. Now, the second sentence. Freddie Mercury is remembered because people have been performing his music at different events. We're talking about an unfinished action that is connected to the present. It may not be happening in this exact moment, but it's still connected. And it may make emphasis on the duration. Now, this is not necessary, but it happens a lot. So, now let's match the tenses. Is it present perfect continuous or is it present perfect? Pause the video, please. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So, the first sentence. Freddie Mercury is remembered because people have listened to his music for many years is present perfect. If you remember to do this, we use our auxiliary have or has, and then our verb in past participle. Then, Freddie Mercury is remembered because people have been performing his music at different events is present perfect continuous. And here we're using again the auxiliary have or has, been, and then a verb with ing, in this case, performing. Okay, great. So, remember that for past tenses, we're talking about things that are already finished, and present perfect tenses, we're talking about things that have a connection to the present. So, let's continue. Let's go to our student book page 31, exercise 2A. Here, we're going to decide if the sentences over here are talking about something that was completed in the past, C, or something that continues up to now, N. For example, after Italy, I went to Central America. In this case, we know that this was completed in the past, so we're going to write letter C. Pause the video while you work on the rest, please. Okay, so you should have number 2, life has definitely been interesting so far, and it continues now. 3, I started a band the year before last. C, it was completed. Since then, he's been concentrated on school, and it continues until right now. Okay, great. So, now let's go to our workbook page 18, exercise A. Let's match the sentences with the correct timeline. A, past time, and then there's no connection in now, or B, past time connected to right now. For example, number 1, my English class has been so much more interesting since the winter break. B, because this is something that is connected. Pause the video while you match. Okay, let's go ahead and check. When I was in high school, I studied in Mexico City for a semester. This is A. It already finished. 3. I volunteered at a children's sports camp last summer. A. This is also finished. 4. Our teacher still hasn't given us our grades for the class project. In this case, we're using letter B because it's connected. C. Sorry, number 5. I've been taking violin lessons since elementary school. This is letter B, it's connected. And the last one. My family moved to this neighborhood a few years ago is letter A, it's already over. Now, let's go ahead and continue practicing. Let's work on exercise B. Here, we need to choose the correct form of the verb to complete the sentences. Number 1. Have you learned or did you learn Chinese when you were in Comni? In this case, we know that this is already over because it says when you were in the past. So we should use did you learn. Pause the video and work on the rest, please. We're going to check in class. Okay? Now, let's go to our student book page 148. Here, we're going to complete sentences using the simple past or present perfect of the verb in parentheses. Let's take a look at number 1. My sister moved to Chicago earlier this year, and so far things have gone pretty well for her. What's great is that she a job right after she got there. In this case, we know that this is finished, so we should use simple past. She found. Number 2. My parents a lot over the last few years. In this case, this is something that continues. It has a connection. So, my parents have traveled. To date, they have visited 5 different countries. Again, this is still connected. Pause the video and work on the rest. We're going to check together. Okay? Great. Now, finally, let's go to our workbook page 18, exercise D. You need to write true sentences about something. For example, something that you have done recently. I haven't gone bowling in a long time. I miss it. Remember to have this ready before our class. I will see you then. Goodbye.